So it says, belief in God. Our religious beliefs intellectually challenged, according to a raft of much-studied studies and free-thinking circles. That answer is yes. After complying dozens of surveys conducted over 50 years lifetime span, researchers Birmingham P. Buckham concluded in 1986 among American students and adults that the amount of religious faith tends to vary inversely and prickly with intelligence. More recently, a 2008 Gallup survey found that 70% of college-educated individuals profess to believe in God as compared to 88% of those with no college. Among scientists, religious belief is much lower. A 1999 issue of Scientific American reported that 40% of scientists believe in God. Other studies found that belief in God was held by 70% of National Academy of Science members and only 3.3% of UK Royal Society fellows. What's this mean to the religious skeptic is that really smart people like him don't believe in God. Belief in God a matter of IQ. As professor of psychology, Richard Lynn sees it, belief in God is simply a matter of IQ. The higher the IQ, the greater immunity to religious belief. That puts the burden upon bright folk to break the spell of religion by lighting a candle in the demon-haunted world of superstition. One group rising to the challenge is who else? The bright lights and ethic that portrays an arguable, highlighted self-image. Brights are individuals who embrace naturalism with the aim of undertaking social and civic actions designed to influence a society, otherwise premeditated with supernaturalism. One of the super novices, Richard Dawkins, in the preface to his bestseller, The God Delusion. Dawkins makes no bones about his goal. If this book works as I attended religious readers who open it will be atheists when they put it down. Belief in God, artificial intelligence. A while back, a friend posed the question about belief in God this way: can a person who flunks the test to the most basic question in life, is there a God, be considered intelligent? I thought it a very good question because what we know about our world, human nature, life's purpose, moral ethics, and just about everything else hangs on what we believe about their source. But what is intelligence? Surprisingly, there is no unanimous agreement on what it is, except as someone once quoted, intelligence is whatever intelligence test measures. From a survey of standard dictionary definitions, intelligence is associated with this ability to learn and use knowledge. The American Psychological Association calls it the ability to understand complex ideas, to adapt effectively to the environment, and to learn from experience, to engage in various forms of reasoning, to overcome obstacles by taking thought. But perhaps the most comprehensive definition is found in mainstream science on intelligence, a 1994 piece published in the Wall Street Journal and endorsed by 52 researchers. Intelligence is a very general mental capability that, among other things, involves the ability to reason, plan, solve problems, think abstractly, comprehend complex ideas, learn quickly, and learn from experience. It is not merely a book learning, a narrow academic skill, or test-taking smarts. Rather, it reflects a broader and deeper capability for comprehending our surroundings, catching on, making sense of things, or figuring out what to do. Defined that way, intelligence is inextricably connected with worldview, the mental model we use to understand the world and our place it. Problem solving and thinking our environment depend on the rational ability of our mind to make sense of things, but they also depend on the non-rational capability of our heart to apply the sense of our mind has made. Consequently, a person who orders his life according to a worldview that aligns with the way the world really thinks, the world really works, could be said to exhibit true intelligence, while a person who orders his life after an unconjugated worldview could be said to exhibit artificial intelligence. The Belief in God, the Greatest Mysteries. Recently, Live Science published the 10 greatest unsolved mysteries in science unremarkable have had to do with the question of organs. I say unremarkably because questions about how things like the universe, life, and conscience came to be are beyond that reach of a discipline that admits only naturalistic expectations. For example, one of the mysteries is what drives evolution. Given that staggering complexity of the biological world, evolutionary science, Massimiliano Pigliucci, I don't know how to say his name, wonders whether natural selection is the only process involved or whether there are other properties of matter that also come into play. Adding, I suspect the latter will turn out to be true. The proposition that life is the proposal product of intelligence is not entertained until it is science. Scientists will be forced to cover their ignorance with the theories that would make H.G. Wells nuts. In a lesson in change I had with one of the brights some time ago, I was informed that unlike the god Hiphaeus, how do you say that?
Hypothesis.
That's how like the iPhone teach you in like English. Naturalism is free of untestable,
unfalsifiable,
and placeholders, to which I politely pointed out that his world brims with placeholders. Whimsical theories subsisting by nothing other than the will to believe, linked it together with all the tensile strength of the angel's halo. I explained that the most advanced theories grew out of this unsettled recognition that we inhabit a Goldilocks planet, one in life, teeters on the edge of non-existence. Scrambling to account for these just right conditions, desperate fears trotted out the multi-universe, an infinite manhole of the universe that guarantees the existence of our hospitable home in every conceivable and unconceivable one as well, even one in which gas exits. But that's not the half of it. The very existence of the multiverse depends on the quantum field, a gossamer fabric of reality comprised of neither matter nor energy, but potentially. In this height realm, virtual practice particles continuously popped in and out of existence in such a way that the universal laws of conservation are not violated, except that is in a singular event that occurred over 12 billion years ago. By a process called inflation, one of those particles defied this
sacrosanct
laws of physics by materializing that, then exploding at such an expensive rate that it gave birth to all the matter and energy that would become our fleeting universe. A tip-off to the non-specialists, and when leading researchers like Alan Goff presents this narrative, beaming, it is said there is no such thing as a free lunch, but the universe is the ultimate free lunch. Sad to say, such cognitive
dissonance
among authorities is far from the expectation. Indeed, when other gap theories like the Mendred Mimes and macroevolution are added to account for biological life, thought in an encyclopedic information in a GMI narrative of naturalism reads more like a Brothers Grimm tale than Newton's principles.
Principia Mathematica.
Belief in God, the inescapable answer. Denying belief in God, my bright friend responded, Regis, but the speculate theories about the multiverse are there for a reason. We can either try to work out what's going on by proposing bold new ideas about the construction of the entire universe, or we can say God did it. I mean, what is the alternative?
Precisely, what is the alternative?
It says a whiff of giddiness oozed from this question, for the incapable answer is, There is no alternative. Either the universe is the thoughtful creation of intelligent a designer, or the fluke product of some pre-cosmic, unintelligent essence. If we reject the designer because he is unyielding to our imperial methods, we are left with a scenario that depends on a host of things that are likewise unyielding, not to mention the hopeless task of explaining the existence of art, music, literature, poetry, and language.